Almighty. So whatever you do in this earth, I'm not going to respond. In other words, I'm not going to be standing accountable for your problem. Whatever it is, let God be judge, not you, not a government. Well, of course, now this thing become an issue where it becomes on the ballot. We have to vote for it. I don't need to tell you, and I don't have to tell you, I don't need to force you to vote for something that you do not agree with. You need to vote your conscience. That isn't acceptable. Everybody's going to do exactly the same. Just the same as the other person too. You know what I mean? You're not better than they. Not they're also better than you. We're on the same playing field. We're trying. You know what I mean? Just focus on yourself. Don't focus on other people's situation. They're not yours to judge. So this is what this book is all about. So I'm going to stop right now because I can go on and on. Okay? So make sure you get your copy. And that's the other book we have here. And I have some other books that have been around before. This is one of the books that talks about what I just mentioned earlier. It talks about, lifestyle, in this life, divorce, remarriage, homosexuality, all those things that I talk about. But if you get a copy of this, it's not, because you guys are used to bash people on the head. You're used to put people down. These people also, they need encouragement just like you need encouragement. I do not know the reasons, and I don't want to know why. I don't think they are sick. I don't think they have any problems as far as being a person. It's just a matter of what happened to them, because you have your own thing that you don't want people to know. I'm sure of that. So you can check it out. Those books are out there. 2021 came out, Guilt Free from Sexual Sin. So now I'm putting the preacher's hat right here. So we talk about sin, okay? But we're not talking about sin in a way that put a guilt on you. In a sense, I'm talking about the reality of life. What God says concerning sin in your life. So there are many things. We could have talked about money, about thievery. I could have talked about scandals and stuff. But I picked a subject that I think within the church it was a problem. So you guys can decide. I think it's a good read. It's good for, like I said, for good Bible study, and also for youth ministries. Talk with the youth to understand the reality of this. And it's very prevalent here in the United States, throughout the country. People are having sex all kinds of ways. Well, it's not my concern to tell people how you should or you should not have it. I just only point out some context, in a way that we do things that create certain problems. And then we're trying to, come alongside to give, certain encouragement if you need it. If you don't need it, you don't need it. Nobody is forcing anything on anybody. And then this is the one that I wrote, the very first book. It's been also revised, 2021, I believe, revised, 23, revised and came out. Guilt, why guilt after sex? And this doesn't talk about the idea, or every time somebody have sex they should have guilt. No, it's talking about the idea of those of you who call yourself Christians, evangelical, and then you struggle with sexual impurity. Do you follow? So you have to understand the context. It's not a book about telling people what to do, what not to do, in a sense. It just come alongside to give comfort and encouragement, and give you a shoulder to put your hand on. Who are struggle with some of the sexual sins in your life. I'm talking specifically with the people within the church, those who call themselves Christians, who have a certain standard to uphold. So because of that, for those of you out there who are curious about certain things and you want to know, then you can have a copy of this book and then learn certain things. Do you follow? For those of you who are young Christians, those who just came into the faith, who, you have an opportunity now to learn some of the things that you need to watch out, because the temptation is going to come, and you have an opportunity to know how to deal with them. So this is the kind of reason, that are in the books that tells you what you can, see happening in your life and how you can deal with the situation. It's not about, putting any group of people down, not about people discriminating about anybody. I'm not that type of person. I'm a person that would actually stand for the little guy, not the one to put a burden on you. Check this out. Also, we have another one. It says things to know before marriage, and a biblical guide that leads to happiness and prosperity. So this book is still out there. So for those of you who inspire who have the aspiration to be a spouse, because not everybody is called to be married. I'm not saying that in a critical way. It's just the fact that some people, they said that marriage is not for me, considering what's happening, what they seen happening, or maybe the family they came from, or whatever other reasons that I don't really care that much. So they probably say, okay, this is not for me because I don't have any ambition, any reason to be married. I don't wish to see myself being, in a marriage relationship with another person. But there are others who wish to be married. And then the thing is, which I discuss in this book, there's a lot of marriages examples, a lot of things before marriage examples in life, and some of the examples also in my own life that I shared with you. But the thing is that I see, and I talk about that in the book also, that a lot of people, they confuse the idea of wedding to the idea of marriage. They're two different things. I can give you a brief, explanation to both of them. Think of it this way: the wedding is the preparation for the marriage. It begins the time that you guys, said you're engaged to be married. So you started preparing the wedding. The events that you announce to everybody, your parents, your family, your friends, your loved ones, wherever they are, to come to see what you're going to do. And then when the day finally arrives, and you stand wherever you stand before, and before God, you take the vow, you take this person to be wedded, spouse. In other words, this person is yours, you are this person's. So you take the commitment to be in each other's life for the rest of your life. Unfortunately, some marriages don't make it to all the way to the end, because the motto is, until death do us part. That's what it says. But unfortunately, it doesn't happen that way. I'm not predicting anybody's marriage. I do not know what's going to happen. Everybody's going to be different. Every marriage is going to be different. There's not going to be two marriages the same. No, there's not going to be. Yours is going to be different from your parents, from your friends, from your brother, from your sister. Your marriage is going to be different. Every marriage relationship is going to be different from one another. They're not going to be the same. This book is not to give you a formula or to give you some, I would say, steps in order to accomplish, to realize a good marriage. If I were to say that to you, I'm lying. I would be lying if I were to say that. Now, this book is about sharing with you some of the things that you probably were not aware of, as far as what marriage is all about, as far as some of the things that your responsibility. Because nobody ever went to school to learn how to be married. Even your parents never taught you that. Even if they were to give you some, pointers, but when you get into that marriage relationship, you're the ones going to have to develop how you and your spouse going to live this life before actually you bring children into your family. You know what I mean? Some of you, you come into marriage with different ways. Some of you just fell in love, so-called fall in love, and then you, after 2-3 years, and bang, you ring the bell, and then you got married, and then you bring children later on. Some of you is as a result of a child, because of your position, whatever, you don't want, everything you covered, you go marriage, but in reality, you were not ready for this. You follow what I'm saying? So there are different reasons that people come to marriage. We talk about that in this book. And we talk about also some of the warning signs that you need to be aware of, so that if in fact that this person, you're not supposed to marry that person. So that's what the title is, things to know before marriage. Because once you're married, it's harder for you to get out of it than to get into it. You see what I'm saying? And then you don't want to be joining the company of the divorcees if you can avoid it. I mean, there's going to be, another opportunity somewhere to find someone you're suitable, to be married. Now, the thing is, this is very funny though. You can marry anybody you want, but not everybody is the person you're supposed to marry. You follow? So this book can help you find, the signs and also some of the things you need to know before you get engaged into that type of relationship. I think I've talked a lot. There's some stories, some true stories in there. I'm not giving you the rosy ones, the one that actually make you laugh, you're so encouraged. Yeah, those are good. That's what I'm talking about. I'm more lenient to share with you some of the signs that could be potentially problematic for you in a marriage relationship. Okay? So that way you can have a situation. See, there are things, I've seen that and I have heard about it too. There are people that are good friends before they get married, and when they get married they can't get along. They have difficulties of communicating what they supposed to communicate. Oh, they neglect this and they get that. And those things keep piling up and then creating some issues. So I encourage you to get a copy. Things to know before you get married. Very soon there's going to be a follow-up with that. The title, it's already actually in the making. It's not ready yet for you. It's things to know while being married. Actually, I almost forgot. I said that I tell you a little bit of what it is, the wedding. But what is marriage? Marriage is it's what's being done behind the scene, so to speak. So you can see it that way. It's when you wake up in the morning, what you communicate with your spouse, and how you do things, back and forth, the dedication, the time, the effort you put in there. That's what marriage is, hard work. You know what I mean? All the things that you've done, after you said, okay, this person is my responsibility for sickness and good health, for life and for death. So there's no regrets there. But I understand that sometimes the pressure is too high, the situations, kind of like change. There are a lot of things unexpectedly that show up. You have difficulty communicating, and there's in-laws and all this stuff come into play, and there's actually displacement, from one place to go to the other, job situation, and the type of things that actually shouldn't be a problem become major problems. And affect your relationship in marriage with your spouse, and then which lead ultimately to a separation and divorce. We don't wish that to anybody, but the thing is, it can happen. It can happen because of the fact that there are certain things, the way they are being, progressing in this life. There's certain position that you don't take, there's certain standard you don't uphold, there's a certain type of relationship that you cultivate can bring situation into your relationship with your spouse. So therefore, this book would tell you that. Now, the other books I was going to tell you that's not making is things to know while being married. So we're going to explore this possibility while you are in the marriage relationship. We'll talk about it. I'm so passionate about writings and about books and about teaching. I hope that you take advantage of all those that I'm offering you, and having to spend some time with you today and to be able to tell you about my books. What a privilege it is to have me into your home today, wherever you're watching, and to share with you what's on the table now and what you should be looking forward to. And so remember to pre-order your copy. To learn to lose a little, to gain much more in return, understand the law of reciprocity. This book is published by Christian Faith Publishing. It's written by me, I'm the author, and you'll get your copy. Very soon I will show you, and I would send you kind of like a notification where we might have an event going on. And so we are planning on doing that, and you can meet me in person. I'll be able to sign for you if you happen to be in the area where I am. And wherever this would take me, I will announce to you where you can find me. I hope that you had a great time, just like I did, with you, sharing with you my books and everything and what's in them. I will, in the future, I'll be sitting there, and maybe I have some guests with me. We'll discuss more about what's in the book, and we can share with you. And if you can send your questions in, and I'll be able to answer them when I'm maybe live or directly on YouTube channel. Again, check it out, and make sure you get your copy, or you can go on any, I would say go Google my name, and you give all the lists of the books that I have there, and also Amazon. All the books on Amazon. Put my name in there. They would give you all the books under my names. I'll be able to have that. Now, one thing I ask you to do, even if you don't buy my books, I would really be happy if you can help me with that. Which is, any books that you see on Amazon or any website you go to, just go ahead and then read a little bit of the sample. And then don't leave without giving me a review. I would encourage you to give me a positive review. The reason being because it helps me. So that's why I'm asking you. It helps me, a positive review. Because if you have something out there, you will want somebody to give you a positive review. You understand? Now, don't be too harsh on me if you feel like there's certain things you disagree with. Remember, these are perspectives. It's not something that you should adopt, or something you should, say, okay, this is my motto, or something like that. I'm not putting those books out there so you can live by them. My book is nowhere close to being like a Bible type of thing. No, it's perspective about certain things in life. We talk about ourselves, about what we see, what we hear, and also things that we would like to see change. But in any case, I'm asking you, whenever you give, even if you try to be, criticize a little bit, but be very gentle, if you will. Just show me what can I do to do better. Not trying to hurt me. You can do that. Yeah, you got a few minutes, you're happy, but that doesn't really change anything. Do you follow what I'm saying? It doesn't really hurt me in any way. You're trying to do it, but at the same time, why do you want to do that? We are on the same boat. I think what I'm doing here is to bring value to you. Don't take it. If you don't like it, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to say anything. You can reach out to me personally. Hey, man, there's this, and that. I understand that I've seen that too. I've seen in different books that I've read in the past. And even in my books, I don't know why, there's some typo, errors and stuff like that. Some of the things that should be said in a certain way and it's said a different way. The syntax, the form, and all those ways to put together. That can be. You can be, a grammar teacher, English teacher, whatever, and you can see all those mistakes you could have said. But the point is not the grammar and the syntax and all those other errors. You're singing, that's the point of the book. That's the focus of it. The focus is the message. As long as you get the message, it's important. Now, I do not share any vulgarities in this book, any inappropriate words, things that will be offensive to people. I don't do that. That's not my style. I don't want people to do that to me. I don't read books that have, insanities and all those crazy stuff, that people say in their everyday, talk, conversation. I try to, because I think when you read something, it has to bring value to you. Doesn't mean that you agree with everything, but at least you can see there's somebody thinking. There's somebody who's trying to make an effort. And when you share with us your opinions about what you read, then it makes us see two things. Number one, how to improve the way we communicate to you. That's in the matter of what's written. Now, number two, he helps us see where you are based on what you say, and then now we can see what you really expect, so we can make the effort in that end to bring what you expect. So next one, you'll be the first to get it. So that makes sense. So I'm just telling you the truth. So I appreciate your time, and so glad that you were taking time to listen. I know that I spoke a lot, but I just get back. You know what I mean? It's been a while though. So let's continue the journey together.